Good readings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today I'm going to be testing out a old recipe that I found in this beautiful receipt book, as it's called, the Rumford receipt book. And this was so very kindly sent to me by Lily. Lily, thank you so much for thinking of me and for sending this beautiful little booklet to me. So Lily came upon this because she works at the Providence Athenaeum, which is pictured here. There it is, and it is a library located in Providence, Rhode Island that was built in 1836, and you can still go to it. It's located on 251 Benefit Street in Providence, and very cool library. And this beautiful cookbook came with a can of this baking powder. Isn't that great? This dates from 1911 and has all different kinds of recipes that include the baking powder, but also recipes that do not, including stuffed peppers, beefsteak pie, chocolate rice pudding. But I found one recipe that I've never ever seen before, and it is on this page right here, and it is called Mystery. So today we're going to be making a recipe for Mystery from this 1911 Rumford receipt cookbook. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. Look at this cover. Isn't it so sweet? And this? So one of our favorite local bakeries, Seven Stars Bakery, has a location in the old Rumford factory. It's cool. So there's a bust of Count Rumford, and we always say hello to him when we get our bread. We love to get sandwiches there, and of course a cup of coffee. But Rumford baking powder. And interestingly enough, today's recipe for Mystery does not contain any Rumford baking powder at all. So what is Mystery? I'm sure you're wondering. Mystery could be a bunch of things. It could be an entree, it could be an appetizer, it could be bread. I believe it's some kind of dip because it contains butter, some onion, boiled rice, cream, canned shrimp, and ketchup. 6 ingredients, but you serve it piping hot on toast or crackers. So I think it's like a dip. I'm very curious to see how this is going to taste. It's a very interesting combination of ingredients. So let's go ahead and make it. This recipe is interesting. It says 1 teaspoon of butter added to the pan. And to that, we're supposed to add 1 slice of a small onion. 1 slice. Curious, right? 1 thin slice of a small onion. Huh. It's not chopped, it's not sliced onions, it's 1 thin slice. So I'm going to cut it in half. And 1 thin slice it is. This is what I think of when I think of 1 thin slice, but it's going to be like a ring. So strange. Make sure I don't have any of the onion skin on it. All right, so 1 thin slice of onion into the butter. So we're just going to saute this 1 thin slice of onion until it's light brown, which the butter will help to do because butter loves to caramelize. Oh no, stay in the pan. Now, when this is light brown, it says to add 1 cup of rice. Why is my phone doing that? And 1 cup of cream. So we'll just let that heat up. So far it's just cream, rice, onions, and a little bit of butter. All right, so that rice is cooked, but it's cold. So we'll just let that kind of warm up to the side. And next we're going to be using an ingredient I've never really used before, and it's canned shrimp. Love that. It says tiny shrimp. Yeah, it says 1 can of shrimp cut into shreds. I'm not sure what the shrimp in a can circa 1911 looked like, but this is the type of shrimp in a can that I can find in 2023. Okay. And they are little tiny shrimp. The recipe doesn't say anything about draining them, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I can just mash them with my fingers, and they turn into these little shreds, kind of like crab meat. These are cooked already, so let's give them a taste. Wow, very soft, not that much flavor. Doesn't have the texture of shrimp, or at least the texture I associate with shrimp, which has a little bit of a bounce to it, just pretty mushy. and kind of briny, not overly salty, not too fishy though either. Nondescript, seafoody, somewhat. Not very shrimpy. Huh, interesting. Now that we have our shrimp into shreds, we are going to bring this back. This is our rice and cream, and our rice is kind of plumped up a bit, and in goes the shrimp. I guess you could have left some of them whole so you could see the whole shrimp, but just following the recipe. I love it when people leave me comments suggesting what I could have done during the recipe to improve it and what I should have done, but oftentimes I'm just following the recipe because I want to know what the recipe is going to taste like. If I change it, then I'm not really getting an official account or review of the recipe, am I? Because I'm adulterating it. So that's why I often just follow the recipe. And then if I want to make it again or make adjustments to it, I can the next time I make it, right? Alrighty, so I'm going to turn this on to low, and look how much it's thickened up. Wow. I have to say it doesn't look very appetizing. Nope. But it might taste good. The last ingredient I find very interesting. A half cup of ketchup. Bloop. Now, this is tomato ketchup. This is what we can find these days for ketchup. I know ketchup has many permutations through the years. In fact, it wasn't often tomato-based originally, from my understanding. Alrighty, so I'm adding a half cup of tomato ketchup. Here we go. And we're just gonna warm this through our rice, shrimp, cream, ketchup mystery. It still, I have to say, does not look very appetizing. Something about suspended grains of rice in a cream sauce. But you know, we're gonna give it a go. And then it says, when heated, add the ketchup. When piping hot, serve on toast or crackers. Okay, let's get that piping hot. Yeah, I think that's piping. Piping mystery. Help me! And to drop. Oh no, my spatula just fell on the floor. Now I've got piping hot mystery on my floor. Lovely. As I was saying, to dress things up, I'm chopping a little bit of Italian parsley right out of my garden because a little bit of greenery always makes the most homely dish lovely. This is not included in the recipe, but I don't think they'd mind. Alrighty, let's serve this up. Yeah, it's definitely taken on a scoopable, dippable consistency. Slightly chunky. Mmm. And I'm going to serve those with some crackers. Look how hot that is. A little bit of parsley. Boop, 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 boop. Already that makes it look better. Alrighty, lovelies, there's our 1911 mystery. Let's give it a taste. It doesn't look half bad. When it's presented like this, it almost looks like a hearty tomato soup or something, but then it's a little bit thick. It's actually very thick. I mean, you know? Ooh, and it's steamy hot. And let's have it on a cracker. This is just a plain water cracker. Boom. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. I suppose it's mysterious. It tastes very sweet and tangy. I think that's largely due to the amount of ketchup in there. It's a little bit like, what is it a little bit like? Okay, I'm gonna have a second bite. It's not bad. I like that it's a warm dip. I thought the texture might be a little bit off-putting because it's so thick with the rice, but it's not. The flavor is largely tangy and sweet from the amount of ketchup in there. Let's just try a little bit by itself. When I have it by itself, I notice the texture of the shrimp a little bit more. I can feel the little shreds of there, but it's not very strongly shrimpy flavored. It's not seafoody at all, really. It's very kind of innocuous. For those that find seafood a little bit off-putting, you might like this because it's pretty subtle, surprisingly. And the flavor is a little bit like Thousand Island dressing. I know that sounds wild. Thousand Island dressing is a little bit like the Big Mac sauce that you find on a Big Mac sandwich, except there's no relish. There's no dilly flavor in there. In the end, it's essentially creamy ketchup. It sounds wild and really off-putting, but it's not. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I'm double dipping because this is my dip. I think this would be really fun to serve at a party, a potluck maybe. Call it mystery, say it dates from 1911, and see if people can figure out what are the 6 mysterious ingredients that make it. I think it would be a really great conversation starter. And in terms of taste, it's not half bad. It's pretty presentable, especially if you add a little bit of parsley on top of it. And if you put in a cute little dish like this, add a little sprinkling of Italian parsley, it's pretty cute. So there you have it, the 1911 recipe for mystery from the Rumford Receipt book. There are some other recipes in here, including plain pastry, there are dumplings, pies, chicken in a blanket, tomato sauce. What's the very first recipe? The very first recipe is to what to serve for breakfast. Cornmeal rolls. That's the first recipe, not biscuits. Southern battered bread is the next one. Rye pancakes, French muffins, breakfast muffins, corn muffins. So that's all breakfast. What to serve for luncheon? First recipe is Parker House rolls. I've always thought of those used with yeast, but this one uses baking powder. I think there are desserts in here as well. Rice pudding, supper, confectionery, chocolate caramels, chocolate cake. So let me know if you want to see the recipe for chocolate cake or any of the others that I mentioned from the Rumford Receipt book. Alrighty, my lovelies. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. I love hearing from you. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. I can't wait to give this to my kids. What are they gonna think?